Hello and welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most terrifying and mysterious chapters in American crime history, the story of the Son of Sam. Picture this, the sweltering heat of a New York summer, the city's vibrant streets suddenly overshadowed by a chilling fear. A predator lurks in the darkness, targeting the innocent without warning, leaving behind a trail of devastation and cryptic messages that haunt the minds of millions. Who is this shadowy figure? What drives him to commit such unspeakable acts? And how did the city, gripped by terror, eventually unmask the monster in their midst? Join us as we unravel the enigma of the Son of Sam, exploring the sinister details that turned New York City's summer of 1976 into a nightmare. This is a tale of horror, mystery, and the relentless pursuit of a cold-blooded killer. If you enjoy deep dives into true crime and chilling stories, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. Let's get started. In the sweltering summer of 1976, New York City was a place of vibrant energy and cultural renaissance. But as the days grew longer and the nights hotter, an ominous shadow began to creep over the city. This was the summer when the Son of Sam, a figure who would become one of America's most notorious serial killers, began his reign of terror. David Berkowitz, later known as the Son of Sam, was born Richard David Falco on June 1, 1953, in Brooklyn, New York. Adopted by Nathan and Pearl Berkowitz, he grew up feeling deeply troubled and isolated, despite the loving environment his adoptive parents provided. His early years were marked by feelings of abandonment and anger, emotions that would later fuel his violent outbursts. David's childhood was marred by a sense of inferiority and social awkwardness. He was an average student who often felt out of place among his peers. Despite his parents' efforts to provide him with a stable home, David's inner turmoil grew. He became obsessed with pyromania, setting small fires around his neighborhood. His fascination with fire was a precursor to the dark path he would later follow. The terror began on the night of July 29, 1976. Donna Lauria, an 18-year-old medical technician, was sitting in a car with her friend, Jody Valenti, in the Bronx. Without warning, a man approached the car and fired a .44 caliber bulldog revolver through the window. Donna was killed instantly, and Jody was seriously injured but survived. The police were baffled by the randomness and brutality of the attack. Donna Lauria was a vibrant young woman with dreams of pursuing a career in healthcare. Her death sent shockwaves through her family and friends, who could not fathom why someone would want to harm her. Jody Valenti, who survived the attack, would later describe the horror of that night, the sudden explosion of violence that shattered the peace of a quiet evening. This was just the beginning. Over the next year, the Son of Sam would claim 6 lives and wound 7 others in a series of seemingly random shootings, all involving young women with long, dark hair. The fear and paranoia that gripped the city were palpable, as women cut and dyed their hair in an attempt to avoid becoming the next victim. As the body count rose, Berkowitz began to taunt the police and the public. He sent letters to newspapers, full of cryptic and disturbing messages. In one letter addressed to NYPD Captain Joseph Borelli, he wrote, "I am a monster. I am the Son of Sam." He claimed that Sam was his father's name and that he was compelled to kill by demonic voices. The letters were filled with bizarre and eerie details, referencing a dark world and signing off with phrases like, "Yours in murder," and "Son of Sam." These letters were published by the media, spreading further panic and dread among the residents of New York City. One letter read, "I am deeply hurt by your calling me a woman hater. I am not. But I am a monster. I am the Son of Sam. I am a little brat. When Father Sam gets drunk, he gets mean. He beats his family. Sometimes he ties me up to the back of the house. Other times he locks me in the garage. Sam loves to drink blood. Go out and kill," commands Father Sam. These chilling words painted a picture of a deeply disturbed individual, one who felt compelled to kill by forces beyond his control. The reference to the Sam and the vivid descriptions of abuse and bloodlust created an image of a man possessed by dark and malevolent forces. The police launched an extensive manhunt, but Berkowitz was cunning and elusive. He struck fear into the hearts of millions, his killings appearing random and without motive. He favored lovers' lanes, targeting couples in parked cars, which added to the sense of vulnerability among young people. On the night of October 23, 1976, Carl Denaro and Rosemary Keenan were sitting in a parked car in Queens. Suddenly, the car's windows exploded as Berkowitz fired his .44 caliber revolver into the vehicle. Carl was wounded but survived, and Rosemary escaped unscathed. This attack further fueled the growing fear and confusion. Carl Denaro later recalled the terrifying moment. "One minute we were just sitting there, talking, and the next, the windows shattered and there was blood everywhere. I didn't even realize I was shot at first. It was chaos." The randomness of the attacks made everyone a potential target. The city's nightlife dwindled as people stayed indoors, gripped by fear. Berkowitz continued his spree with a chilling regularity. On November 26, 1976, Donna DeMasi and Joanne Lomino were walking home from a movie when Berkowitz approached them and opened fire. Both young women were severely injured but miraculously survived. In the early hours of January 30, 1977, Christine Freund and her fiancé, John Deal, were sitting in a car in Queens. Berkowitz struck again, firing into the vehicle. Christine was killed, while John survived. The randomness and brutality of these attacks left the city in a state of panic. Christine Freund was a young woman with dreams of starting a family with John. Her sudden and violent death left her family devastated. John Deal, who survived the attack, struggled with survivor's guilt and the trauma of that night. As the killings continued, Berkowitz's letters became more elaborate and disturbing. In a letter to Daily News columnist Jimmy Breslin, he wrote, "Hello from the gutters of NYC, which are filled with dog manure, vomit, stale wine, urine, and blood. Hello from the sewers of NYC, which swallow up these delicacies when they are washed away by the sweeper trucks. Hello from the cracks in the sidewalks of NYC and from the ants that dwell in these cracks and feed on the dried blood of the dead that has settled into the cracks." These macabre descriptions painted a picture of a man who reveled in the filth and decay of the city, a predator lurking in the shadows, feeding on the fear and pain of his victims. On the night of March 8, 1977, Virginia Voskerikian was walking home from school in Queens when Berkowitz struck again. He fired a single shot into her face, killing her instantly. Virginia was a bright and ambitious young woman, studying to become a teacher. Her death sent shockwaves through her community. Virginia's friends and family were left reeling from the loss. Her parents spoke of her dreams and aspirations, cut short by a senseless act of violence. The randomness of the attack, and the brutality with which it was carried out, left everyone questioning their safety. As the city reeled from the latest murder, the police intensified their efforts to catch the elusive killer. They set up a task force, Operation Omega, dedicated to solving the case. Psychological profiles were drawn up, and forensic experts were brought in to analyze the letters and crime scenes. The breakthrough came on July 31, 1977, when Stacy Moskowitz and Robert Violante were sitting in a parked car in Brooklyn. Berkowitz approached and opened fire, killing Stacy and blinding Robert in one eye. This attack proved to be Berkowitz's undoing, as a witness saw him near the crime scene and reported his car's license plate to the police. Stacy Moskowitz was a vibrant young woman with a promising future. Her death, and Robert Violante's injuries, brought the city's fear to a fever pitch. Robert would later speak of the horror of that night, the sudden eruption of violence that changed his life forever. On August 10, 1977, the police arrested David Berkowitz at his Yonkers apartment. When they searched his car, they found a .44 caliber bulldog revolver, maps of the crime scenes, and more chilling letters. Berkowitz confessed to the killings, claiming that he was commanded to murder by a demon that possessed his neighbor Sam Carr's dog, Harvey. The trial was swift, and Berkowitz was sentenced to 6 consecutive life terms in prison. Despite his claims of demonic possession, he was found competent to stand trial and showed no remorse for his actions. His chilling courtroom demeanor and the macabre details of his crime cemented his place in the annals of American criminal history. Berkowitz's life in prison has been marked by attempts at redemption and further bizarre behavior. In the 1980s, he declared that he had become a born-again Christian, insisting that his crimes were the result of his involvement in a satanic cult. He has since written numerous letters and books about his faith, even expressing regret for his actions. However, many view his claims with skepticism, seeing them as an attempt to manipulate public perception. The families of his victims continue to grieve, their lives forever altered by the senseless violence of that terrifying summer. Despite his claims of redemption, Berkowitz's actions have left an indelible mark on the city of New York. The horror of his crimes, and the fear he instilled, continue to haunt those who lived through that dark period. The story of the Son of Sam remains a haunting chapter in the annals of American crime, a chilling reminder of how darkness can seep into the heart of a city and grip it with terror. David Berkowitz's reign of terror was not just a series of brutal murders but a psychological assault on the fabric of New York City itself. His methodical and random acts of violence turned the bustling metropolis into a landscape of fear and paranoia, altering the lives of countless people forever. The legacy of Berkowitz's crimes continues to reverberate through the corridors of time, a grim testament to the fragility of human security and the ever-present specter of evil. For the victims' families, the pain of loss and the horror of those nights linger on, etched into their memories with an indelible scar. The city, though resilient and ever-changing, carries the shadows of those dark days, a period when fear walked hand in hand with death on its streets. David Berkowitz, now an aging man serving multiple life sentences, may claim redemption and spiritual rebirth, but the darkness of his past actions cannot be erased. His story is one of a descent into madness, driven by inner demons and an insatiable thirst for violence. It serves as a macabre study of the human psyche, an exploration of how a seemingly ordinary individual can transform into a figure of nightmarish proportions. As we turn the final page on this tale of horror and mystery, we are left with an uneasy awareness of the thin veneer that separates normalcy from chaos. The Son of Sam's reign of terror was a brutal awakening to the reality that evil can lurk anywhere, waiting for the moment to strike. It is a sobering reminder that vigilance and understanding are our best defenses against the darkness that can arise from the most unexpected places. And so, the city moves on, its spirit unbroken but forever marked by the shadow of the Son of Sam. The names of the victims and the terror they endured remain in the collective memory, a somber tribute to lives cut short and dreams unfulfilled. The tale of David Berkowitz is more than a story of a serial killer, it is a reflection on the resilience of a community and the enduring human spirit in the face of inexplicable evil. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you found this deep dive into the chilling story of the Son of Sam both intriguing and haunting. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories, mysteries, and chilling tales. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.